Candace Parker, Upto $50 million and other factors that might lure Paige Bueckers, Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark, and more away from WNBA. WNBA leadership has been under the cosh after Nafisa Collier made the scathing statement about Commissioner Cathy Engelbert. While the players have been fully behind Collier, the fans and analysts have demanded for Engelbert's resignation. The players have been fighting for a fair salary for years now. Collier's statement has not only proved why more money is needed in the women's game, but also fueled up a new fire for player safety. Newcomers like Paige Bueckers, Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, and more have raised the revenue exponentially. WNBA already have a competitor in the form of Unrivaled. Former UConn greats Nafisa Collier and Breanna Stewart founded the Unrivaled League in 2023. They had their inaugural season in 2025, and it was an instant success. The commencement of a new league in the United States itself meant the players did not have to go different countries to earn extra money and keep up with their fitness in WNBA's offseason. The format was identical to FIBA 3x3. League's revenue generation, player earnings, and fan following turned out to be big challenges for the WNBA. Now there is another big challenge that might make WNBA change things around to keep the players satisfied. Moreover, not only the WNBA, but the challenge arises for Unrivaled too. Grady Burnett and Jeff Prentice are prepared to launch a new basketball league called Project B, which will reportedly be backed by Saudi investors. There were rumors of LeBron James' involvement as well. However, due to uncertainty around that, the league will kick off with a women's division, reportedly starting next year during the WNBA offseason. There will be reportedly 6 teams competing in 7 two-week tournaments across cities in Asia, Europe, and the America. There seem a few solid factors that might attract WNBA players and lure away massive revenue-generating players like Caitlin Clark, Paige Bueckers, Angel Reese, and more. Candace Parker, Steve Young, tennis legend Novak Djokovic, and Sloane Stephens are some of the biggest names in a growing list of investors. With a backing of massive money from Saudi, players can reportedly earn up to even $50 million. The prospect of a massive increase in pay and a new paradigm shift is certainly an intriguing step for women's basketball. Fans react to Project B. After voicing their discontent against current WNBA commissioner and management, fans certainly had positive views about WNBA players earning more and playing more quality basketball. Caitlin is the only player that would draw international crowds. $100 million contract for her to be the headliner. One fan showed full support. It'd be so easy for them to shut down the WNBA and Unrivaled. I can't see players turning down tens of millions of dollars, another fan claimed. Never heard of this until now. Good looks. Another gave the stamp of approval. Is it possible this is why Angel hasn't resigned with Unrivaled for Season 2 yet? Another fan wondered. Unrivaled meet the big boss, another said. I don't think the W can survive an attack on multiple fronts, one user commented. We're witnessing the end of the WNBA, another replied. The WNBA is standing at a fascinating crossroads, one where the boundaries between basketball stardom and global influence are blurring faster than ever. And while legends like Candace Parker have paved the way for a generation of women athletes to build legacies on and off the court, the next era, led by names like Paige Bueckers, Angel Reese, and Caitlin Clark, might be tempted by something even bigger than the game itself. In an age where influence can be monetized more than jump shots, where nil deals rival league salaries, and where cultural power outweighs hardware, the WNBA's brightest stars face a dilemma that Candace Parker herself once anticipated. How to be more than just a basketball player, and still make it worth the price of staying. 1. The Candace Parker Blueprint. Beyond the court, beyond the league. Candace Parker's career has been nothing short of transformative. Not just for her MVPs, championships, and Olympic gold medals, but for the way she understood her value early. Long before brand became an athlete's second job, Parker mastered it. She turned endorsement partnerships into extensions of her identity, transformed into a broadcast powerhouse with TNT, and became a face of women's empowerment within sports media. Her story set the tone for today's stars, women who aren't waiting for league paychecks to define their worth. So when reports suggest that players like Caitlin Clark or Angel Reese could earn up to $50 million across endorsements, social media presence, and outside ventures, it's not an exaggeration. It's the natural evolution of what Parker began. For players in the nil era, the WNBA isn't the destination. It's one of many platforms. And that changes everything. 2. The economics of stardom. Why $50 million isn't outlandish. Before the WNBA's current CBA, even the league's top players were making around $200,000 in base salary. Now, stars can approach the mid-$300K range, but that's still a fraction of what a single influencer campaign or global apparel deal can bring in. Caitlin Clark, for instance, entered the pros with endorsements from Nike, State Farm, and Gatorade. Angel Reese has major partnerships with Beats by Dre, Mercedes-Benz, and Reebok, where she's become a symbol of the new era. Paige Bueckers, still in college, has deals that eclipse what many pros earned in total across entire careers. Put simply, the brand economy has overtaken the basketball economy. That's where the $50 million figure surfaces, not in WNBA contracts, but in the cumulative universe of modern athlete entrepreneurs. Between social monetization, nil extensions, personal production companies, and international collaborations, today's stars are less bound by team colors than by opportunity. And when those opportunities stretch beyond the hardwood, media appearances, podcasting, fashion, even ownership, the WNBA might struggle to compete for their time and focus. 3. The alternative, overseas leagues and private ventures. What if Caitlin Clark or Paige Bueckers played abroad for a season, say in Turkey, Italy, or China, where salaries and sponsorships combine into seven-figure packages? It wouldn't be unprecedented. Players like Brittany Griner and Breanna Stewart once made more overseas than in the WNBA. But now, with social media amplifying every move, the visibility gap that used to discourage overseas play has narrowed. In fact, for a generation raised online, it's possible that global exposure might feel more valuable than domestic loyalty. Imagine Angel Reese launching a fashion capsule line in Paris during her off-season, or Bueckers collaborating with a European luxury brand as part of a short-term league deal. These possibilities aren't fantasy, they're market realities. Even private leagues or tech-backed tournaments could enter the mix. With women's basketball surging in viewership, it's not hard to picture a privately funded competition, streaming exclusive content-driven, promising stars equity shares instead of standard salaries. For a visionary like Clark or Reese, that could be the modern version of free agency liberation.